In this lab, we're going to explore how to install SELinux, how to activate SELinux, how to check the status of SELinux after it's been fully installed, and how to enforce SELinux on an operating system such as Kali. The first thing we're going to do is to make sure our operating system is fully up to date. So in your Kali VM, you're going to run sudo apt update to grab the updates, and then you're going to do an upgrade to install those updates. This will take some time, quite a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and resume once everything is up to date. Real quick, if you come to this screen, you can just select yes and push enter to continue the upgrade process. Okay, when you are finished with your updates, you're going to install some SELinux packages. So to do that, we're going to do sudo apt install SELinux dash basics and SELinux dash policy default, and finally audit D. This is to get our default policies, and this is to audit in case anything goes wrong, so like if one of the policies gets violated. We're going to push Y to install it. This shouldn't take too much time. Alright, now that that's all installed, we're going to do sudo SELinux dash activate to install SELinux into our kernel. So it's been installed into our kernel now. So now we need to do sudo reboot so we can relabel all the files. You can see here it is getting ready to relabel all of our systems, so SELinux can manage them and look for any type of intrusion or anything it doesn't like by its default policy. Since our system is not big, it shouldn't take too long, but if we had a very large system with a lot of files, this could take quite a bit of time. Alright, now that everything's relabeled, it'll reboot one more time, and we should be able to log in normally. Alright, we're going to open the terminal again once we log in. And we're going to check the status of it. Alright. To check the status of SELinux, we'll type in sudo se status. You can see it's currently enabled. We can see where it's mounted from, its root directory, corresponding to default policy. That's what we installed. Its current mode, which is permissive. What that means is if anything goes wrong, such as for example, someone accesses his computer through a port, that's not allowed. It won't actually stop the connection, it'll just log it. Think of it almost like a host-based intrusion detection system at that point. but it's not going to prevent anything, just detect at this point. If we wanted to start actively stopping stuff, we'll need to do sudo let me see, s set enforce, and we're going to do 1. With this, if we go back to our status, we can see now it's enforcing. So now it's acting almost like a host-based intrusion prevention system, where if it detects something going wrong, such as someone trying to remotely access his PC without permission, or certain files being accessed without permission, it'll stop it immediately. Okay? By default, we should set this back to 0, because we want to make sure we know what this policy does. You would first make sure everything is working as intended before you start blocking everything. If you blocked everything without first testing of the settings, you might do an unintentional denial surface. For example, let's say we wanted to change some settings. We would do the SE manage command. So 1 second. SE manage command, which allows us to manage SELinux's policy. Which, this is a whole book by itself, to be honest with you. But, for example, if we wanted to allow, let's see what ports are allowed. So if I do sudo se manage port-l, port-l, I can see what ports it's looking for right now, and what ports are going to be okay. And I don't want to look through all that, so I'm going to grep, and I want to see if I can grab SSH. I can see right now SSH is being allowed. But let's say it wasn't. I would have to find the SE manage command to allow this. But once you have all the settings you want to do, you probably want to set it to an enforce mode, so that way now it does blocking as well. And once again, SE status is how you can see all the status of SELinux. If you have any questions, let me know.